Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm called Farouk Bentsi-Enchil, and I welcome you. Hello. Yeah, so I welcome you all for this panel discussion. So the term is today's discussion focus on youth involvement in peacekeeping in community building. So I'm here to introduce our panelists. My first panelist is Honorable Hobson Adoye. Please, can you give him a hand of applause? Oh, give it to him one more time. You are welcome. And our next panelist is His Excellency Raymond Annan. Please, if he's here, please give him a round of applause. Oh, okay. We also have our next panelist, Sharifatu Bansi. She happens to be our national coordinator for this organization. Please, if she's here, give her a hand of applause. And we also have Major Ebenezer Ameyao. Please, if he's here, give him a hand of applause. It's good to have great intellectuals with us. And our last, that's fine. So I welcome you all. Yes, you are welcome, Hobson Adoye. Honorable Sharifatu, you are welcome too as well. Major, you are welcome. Thank you for joining us for this panelist. Yes, so my first question is, okay. Okay, so I'll start with Honorable Adoye. Please, my first question is, why is youth participation important in peace building?
Thank you very much. It seems I made some of the points in my speech. And United Nations actually saw that they cannot bring peace to the globe without involving the youth. That's why 2015, a decision was taken. It did not just come by chance. There was a thorough research. Some of the international groups took it upon themselves to research how we can come to, if not the end at all, we can bring it down. So it was adopted. You see, youth participation is very key. If government decide to come out with a policy without taking the side of the youth, it's always bound to fail. It's always. You may say, oh, we are having a policy or a program for the youth. We are going to give everybody 100,000 cedis. It's huge. But maybe the youth, that is not their aspiration, not the 100,000. It may be something lower than the 100,000. But because you did not take their side, you cannot succeed in that. So at every point, I will always advocate that we are the youth. The youth voice must be heard at all times. That's why you see the International Youth Network. We have few grown-ups just to give direction, just to, shape your ideas. Some of them, we can say, oh, it's excellent, continue. It encourages you to do more. Some will say, oh, as for this one, if you do it this way, it will be okay. So at every point in time, even in our homes, let's make sure our kids, those of us who have children, let's make sure when we are taking decision in the house, we take the side of the kids. It's something I will share with you. I always do. Even yesterday, I wanted to do something. So I have to ask the kids, oh, so if we want to do this, what do you think? I will not tell them directly that, oh, I want to do this. But put it in a form that I'll get their idea. So that whatever I will do, they will also accept it that, oh, we all like this. Either than that, you go and then do something, they say, oh, as for this one, we don't like it. So youth must always be brought to our decision making at all levels. What we are saying is not at the governmental level alone. If we take it that way, we may be wrong. We cannot achieve the aim. Every level, your personal level, when you are doing something, you have kids around you, consult them. Let them bring their ideas. Maybe it may not necessarily be important to you, but they know that they were part of the decision. So this is the few one that I can say.
Thank you so much, Honorable Adoye. Let me come to Miss Bentsi. Do you have anything to add up? Since you are a youth.
So the question is, why is
youth participation important in peace building?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So I would say that the whole world, when you look at the number of youth that we have, could see that we are the majority. And
that's right.
We can't be left out. We can't be left out. And we are the backbone of our nations. And if we want to have a country that we all desire to have, then we all need to play a very vital role in ensuring that we ensure peace in our nation. And one of the factors that I would say that every youth should put in mind is that the Ghana that we have now was not just Ghana. It was fought. It was a struggle before it became Ghana. And so we need to uphold this, whatever things that our forefathers did for us, and then we take it upon ourselves that peace is not just about peace. It's about our integrity. It's about safety. It's about our lives. And then it's about the generations who are yet to come. And so I would say that let's all put it upon ourselves that whatever that we are engaging ourselves or we are taking part, we should know that we are doing it for ourselves, for our future generation, and for our nation as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anyone here need to add up to what our panelists just said? Let me go to Major.
Yeah. So to add to that, it's so very important where you have the youth being the majority. In the case of a country, it's so crucial to allow them, give them that opportunity but then they also require to submit themselves so much to leadership, to direction, to instruction. And once they are able to humble themselves as such, and they follow the protocols, follow the instructions, look, that peace that we are expecting to build will be excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Major. Please, do you have anything to add up?
Okay, so what I simply think is that peace goes beyond a situation without chaos or war. Peace transcends a quiet atmosphere. Peace is not a solace, a place for quietness and all that. Peace actually is trying to think of the extreme betterment of someone in the same climate, under the same condition. So it moves from self to people. It moves from you to others. Because most of the time when we think about peace, we normally have this image of a quiet place, a place where there is no noise, a place where we have tranquility, where you can see your neighbor move in peace and all that. That is just mere living. That is mere surviving. That is mere existence. What peace does is to move from yourself, and that is very transformational, to move from yourself and to think of the societal good, especially for where you live, where you stay. Okay, so there are more youth clubs than adult clubs. In fact, even though I stood for the adult, I'm speaking for the real thing. Amen. I say amen. Please don't mind me. I'm just trying to let you know that we have something that is more sustainable, more factual in thinking of the good of the environment we live in and then the people we live with. For me, that is what peace is all about. And the youth is this sector of people we can't ignore. Now, chaos is youth-driven. Wars are youth-championed. Anything that brings turbulence, anything that brings destabilization and all that, has the youth playing a major role. So if you involve, like my father said, if you involve the youth in decision-making and, being part of what's happening, it's going to go a long way. Because, for example, nobody spoils anybody. The armed robber today came from a family with people. The thief came from a family with people. Anybody we see championing some level of chaos, war, violence, began from a family, passed through youthful stage. But my question is, what happened to them when they got to their youthful stage? It means that they did not really have that mentorship. And that brings me back to, let me digress a little. It's not really about the youth getting involved. A youth that can get involved is a youth that is empowered with knowledge and transformational solutions. If you are just a youth because you are between the ages of 18 to 40, so I'm a youth, you should be a youth at heart and a youth with wisdom. Okay, so I keep asking myself, all the people we are seeing that we are complaining about, they came from family, they entered into a youth stage. What happened to them at that stage? What really went on in their minds? What were they thinking? What were they doing? Are we together? So when we are talking about the youth, it goes beyond a class of people. What happened to you at the age of 15, 16 to 40, 15, 16 to 20, 15, 16 to 30? What happened to you, or what happens to you, or what is likely to happen to you has a direct proportion on how you are going to even understand the problems in your environment. So what I'm trying to say is that peace is not really about a quiet place. Peace is not really about you having a serene atmosphere and all that. Peace goes way beyond that, and it goes to address your environment. It goes to address your place of stay. Even in your room, someone says something, John Maxwell, I can quote him. It's that you see a man, like, you have an impression of a man when you enter into his study room. And if you enter into his room and he has no study room, he's not organized. So there is something about the youth that we should all embrace. And I pray that it will happen to us. I nearly said in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Honorable. I believe my audience here have questions for them. After giving out the questions, I'll give the floor to the audience to also ask their questions. So my next question is, how can young people help prevent conflict in their communities? I think I'll start with my national coordinator.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. How can young people help in preventing conflict?
Conflict in our communities.
So, thank you.
I'm a fellow youth, and my audience too are also youth, so also teachers.
One factor that contributes to preventing conflict is, I would say, is dialogue.
Please, what do you mean by dialogue?
I mean dialogue.
Okay,
Yes.
can you explain?
Dialogue. We engaging ourselves in dialogue can sometimes help prevent conflict instead of taking certain things that are not supposed to be. For instance, in a situation where you misunderstand something, you need to seek for clarification. You need to ask the question that is in your mind. You don't have to put everything on yourself and then go ahead and take actions on it. Because once you engage in dialogue, people bring up different perspectives, and then you tend to understand that this problem is not as in how I'm seeing it, or it's not what I thought it was. Yes, and another factor that I would say that it helps in preventing conflict is we organizing events like this, something like this. We are all from different backgrounds. Our backgrounds are different. We are from different homes and stuff. But then when we come together, we tend to socialize. We get to know people, and certain things that we don't know about certain culture and things, and maybe certain misconceptions that we have about people might change our minds. Because maybe if someone is a Ga or someone is an Ewe, and maybe probably I have a very bad thought about Ewes or Gans, when I meet them and then we engage, we socialize, I'll get to know that, oh, this is not what I actually thought, or this is not what this guy told me they were. So sometimes we gathering in events like this help solve conflict issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Major, do you have anything to add up to what she said?
Yes. So conflict resolution is so crucial, where we need to engage in, as my sister rightly mentioned, dialogue works so very well. If you do not establish this, ground rules, what could happen is that when it escalates, it could turn to something else. So it's very important that dialogue must be entrenched and get to understand, understand what is it that is your challenge. How can we, come to the round table, bring out our ideas, share whatever it is. Let me understand you. Probably it could be misunderstanding, could be misrepresentation, and what have you. So it's so important that we need to use dialogue, so crucial to work out conflict resolution. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I think this I'll go to Honorable Adoye too as well. Do you have anything to add up?
Yeah, I think this second question is not different from the first one, almost the same. The participation, when you look at the 5 P's of the resolution, they know why they put the participation there. if you want to build a peace or conflict-free society, always let them participate. I'm saying that the youth should also see themselves as members of the society. If they succeed together. If they fail together. Once the youth see themselves in that position, I think they will not sit back. We'll also say, in some places, the youth are willing, but the adults are not giving them the opportunity. So we'll urge our community leaders to open doors for the youth to come in. In fact, in some places, when elders sit, you, the youth, you can't talk. Are you getting it? We need to break that genes. I am aware when I'm from Volta region. In some parts, it's like that. You go to northern region, in some parts, it's like that. When they are talking, yes, you can be around, but you don't have right to talk. Meanwhile, the youth is the conduit of peace. The same youth is the conduit of violence. So why are we not involving them? Let us also push in our various communities where elders think that the youth cannot be involved in decision making. Let us start educating them in the form of appeal. Especially when you go to a smaller community, a village, and then you want to tell the chief that, we also like something from International Youth Network, we need to participate. They will not agree. So we need to go in a humble way to make sure that they give us the chance. In fact, come what may, the youth is a necessary evil. Let me put it that way. Necessary evil.
Yes, necessary evil.
Because they can make and then unmake. So why are we not embracing them so that at least we can have our lasting peace? We are pleading with you. Those of you sitting here, whether you are a member or you are not, we plead with you. Let us all get involved. Start talking to your colleague youth members in the community. Before you get to the top, lobby your people. Let them understand the need for the youth to be involved. Once you get them, going to the adults will be a bit easier for you. But if the youth are not in support of what you are saying, it means that there cannot be any tangible results. So I will appeal that. Let's talk to our community leaders. Let's talk to our chiefs in a respectful way so that they understand the need to bring the youth on board. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to ask, the youth is ready. Please, I believe you guys are ready. But our elders, are they also ready to teach us?
That's why I'm saying that. You see, we've lived in a society that believes in something static. They don't want to be dynamic. Are you getting it? On Sunday, we don't step here. That's all. That's what he was told. So he will not allow you to step here on Sunday. We need to start having conversation with them. I know when we are able to convince them, they'll be ready to involve us. In fact, where we are now, I can see a little shift. Except you get the old men chiefs who don't seem to understand certain things. So I can tell you that the adults, majority of them are ready. Let us try and then push so that the youth will also have that breakthrough of decision taking.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Honorable, please, do you have anything to add up?
Okay, so the little I would want to add is that I think the elderly or the adults are ready, but most often than not, we the youth have not proven ourselves enough. Because sometimes it pays for an adult, it gives a level of feeling, maybe a very awkward feeling, to see that what has been protected over the years is going to be entrusted into people who are not ready, in fact, who are not really ready. Okay, so I again want to say that we need to be transformed. We need to do something. We should be capable. When you are a father and you know that this son, this daughter is capable of doing that, you don't even care to hand over a whole company or a whole conglomerate to that person. But when you are not sure of the readiness, the transformation of the person, you want to relax and give time, buy time. Expect that the person will train, will grow, and all that. So I want to suggest to us that whilst we are youth, we should engage in a lot of capacity building exercises. Build yourself, get yourself ready. When something comes up and you say you want to do it with such dexterity that people will be dumbfounded. Wow, so he did this, he did that. Next time, nobody will even fight you if you want to do something in the society. I don't believe they are not ready, but we have not proven ourselves enough for them to give us the room to operate. So read more, learn more, listen more, think more, do something. Okay, it's very important. When I was in level, I think I wrote my first book in level 100, 2008. As I'm speaking to you, I have 48 books to the glory of God. Okay, so we are trying
give
to
him a round of applause.
No,
Hasn't he not done so well?
It's not really. We are trying to do more, read more, learn more. Where you are, learn the place, know the place. If possible, find out how you can improve the place. It is first in Jerusalem, before Samaria, before blah, blah, blah. So look at where you are. Look at where you live. Even your family. Can you say that your brothers, your sister, your younger sisters and brothers can call you somebody they can trust, or they can get some level of confidence in you, in just your immediate family? So leadership is important. Try to do something. So when you are going through the system, everybody's seeing you. Oh, they know this guy can do that. Oh, this guy is able to do that. I wouldn't want to bore you much. Try and then transform yourself, build yourself, and capacitate yourself. And then the elders will accept us wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Okay, so my next question, I'll start with you. What challenges limit youth involvement in peace building?
What challenges? What?
Limit youth involvement in peace building.
I want to talk about culture. Like Daddy said, Sundays you don't step here. Tuesdays you don't go to the beach. So if the beach is stuck with filth, and Tuesday is the only day the youth are available, traditions will stop them from going to the beach to clean the place. So we have to massage. I'm not also saying that we should turn back on our tradition. Even though I'm a Christian, I'm an African, I hold some values and all that. But we need to find out where we need to work and where we need to, massage our cultural practices. It's very important. If you come to a place where I live, the La Teshin area, during Omo, all the boys, all the youth in the area, I don't know what is happening, but it's part of the tradition. They have to run and sing some songs and chant for more than 2-3 weeks. It's tradition. If you don't do it, I beg your pardon. If you don't do it, you are seen to be some way. So I want us to fight tradition. If I'm not saying fight the elders, but fight traditions that go a long way to impede growth, impede wisdom, impede transformation. Fight it from yourself. So I can't tell you what is in your area or what is in your community, but study your culture, because I can tell you, like Jesus said, by your culture you have made the word of God to be non-effective. Because we don't do this, we don't do that, we don't blah, 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 blah. It's becoming too much. The youth must be given chance to move, to think. Like Daddy said, to be part of transformational decision processes. But if cultures, and other can say, that is talking had an issue with the right hand and would want to express with the left hand, somebody may stop him or her in the crowd. Hey, 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 hey. You don't point your left fingers and blah, blah, blah. Culturally, it may be accepted. We don't do that. But I hope that we'll come to that place where we will have holistic approach, holistic view of all these things, because we are really impeded with tradition. I'm telling you, we are impeded. So if you go to some cultural settings, you see young people heavily endowed, wisdom, the way they talk, the way they think. But sometimes they will tell you, if you are a lefty, you don't do this job. If you stammer, you can't be a king, you can't be a chief. If you've lost one finger, you can't be part of all these things. So I'm just trying to say that in answering your question, we should tackle tradition. That is all I want to say for now. Maybe Daddy want to say something. Okay. So
will you have to add something, Honorable?
I think because of time,
Okay.
maybe we take
I'll
one
move
from
to
there, then we
Major.
move to the next
Major, do you
question,
want
yeah.
to add something to what?
Yeah. So the other part that I wanted to add is that, look, the cultural aspect that he mentions is very, very crucial. Important. I also want to take it that, look, they say charity begins at home.
Exactly.
And what kind of mentorship is going on in the house? So if with regards to the home, values are settled, then you should know that, that child or that youth will go out there to, exhibit that values he or she has learned from home. And but by this, we'll be able to have that peaceful environment. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Major. Please, Miss Sharifat, do you have anything to add up?
So I would say that lack of funding and opportunities to as well to add up. Most of us are ready to say, most of us are ready to put ourselves out there, but then we don't get the opportunities. The opportunities are not there for us to put ourselves up. So I would say that organizations and government bodies or any organization that feels like they can support the youth. Let's start it from the grassroots. Let's start it from there, because I believe that is where capacity can be built. So we should start from the grassroots. We should, this is where some of us are starting, because some of us haven't served as a leader before. But if we are given the opportunity to take up certain roles, we learn from it and we grow. And as time goes on, we wouldn't be left out. We know that, I belong to this organization, and this is what I have. This is the idea I have to contribute to this organization to help it become a meaningful organization. Yes, so I would say that it is lack of funding and opportunities, and I'm saying that they should make this available for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Okay, I would like to summarize my last two questions. So, how can government, civil society, and community leaders better support youth-led peace initiative? And also, what practical actions can young people take to promote peace and community development? Please, I'll start with Madam Sharifatu. Okay, so I said, how can government, civil society, and community leaders better support youth-led peace initiatives? And also, what practical actions can young people take to promote peace and community development?
Thank you very much for your questions. I think the question is in two perspectives. Yes. I would say that I've started an initiative myself when I was in level 100. That was Bentsi Impact. Okay, to be honest, when I started this initiative, I didn't really know much about it. But then I just have this passion, this zeal for it. And I just named this initiative Bouncy Impact. And when I started, I got a lot of young people, like a lot of my mates telling me that they are interested, they want to join me, they want to join us so that we can take that initiative. And then I'm like, wow, so there are actually young people like me out there who are also interested in things like this. But then it's just that, so with that, I learned that it's not that these young people are not ready to do it, but then the opportunities, they don't get to see these things. And some of them too, they want, but then they don't have the capacity. And then one thing I want to add up to this is that you don't need to know everything before you start. Just start somewhere with a little idea you have, with whatever mindset you have, with the initiative that you want to do. So when I started this, I started with my course mates, and we started going to junior high schools to like engage them with the sustainable development goals, like the importance of the goals, why they should know it, and all that. And for a while now, I think I've built a community on that. But then one thing I'm lacking is I haven't create a social media community to put myself out there. But I feel like the young people, we are doing something very well for ourselves. But then I would say that whatever idea you have, whatever thing you have in mind, just start. Don't think twice about it, just start. And then the second question.
What practical actions can young people take to promote peace and community development?
Thank you. One practical steps that we can take to promote community peace is be involving ourselves in gathering like this. Yes, coming to gathering like this will make you learn. You get to network, you get to know people, and then you tend to learn valuable insights that would help develop your mind. Because I believe that a strong mind can never be deceived. That's all I want to say.
Thank you so much, Sharina, too. Major, do you have anything to add up to what she said?
Yes, so I will add that we need to look at this number the civic participation, for instance, where the youth are given the opportunity to be part of decision making and what is so crucial. It has been spoken, over and over. I also want to add a digital responsibility where you know how information spread, the social media, and false information out there, you know how to travel. And some of this information can be taken and can also become, a very challenge.
So you are trying to say the information can be of influence to the youth.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable, do you have anything to add up?
I think we had information from participants that they have afternoon session in schools. So I think the two speakers, they've made a point for all of us. We need to end this session so that the youth parliament can also go through for students to go back to campus and do.
Before I end this panel, I want to open the floor for the audience if they have any question to ask our panelists. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Mine is just a little contribution to the discussion so far. You know, we have come to realize that the youth they will be able to advise their colleagues. But during our debate, we learned something. The mindset of the adults is to never allow the youth to be equal to them. In fact, it's a great challenge. And for that matter, they have tried whichever means possible to make the youth go hungry. And as the saying goes, every hungry man is an angry man. So at the end of the day, if the youth are angry, if they are hungry, they will be able to influence them with money so that they will control them. Go and do this, go and do blah, 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 blah. That is the challenge we have. So as Honorable Adoye is here, we are pleading to his outfits. When he gets to the top there, be in the position to advise those in government that they must allow the youth to function and then think critically, other than always influencing them with what money, go and do this, and then we go just because we are hungry. That is my little contribution. Thank you very much.
I believe Honorable Adoye has heard what he said. Please, my fellow youth, don't you have any question for them?
Thank you. It's not actually a question, but I want to say something about what Daddy said over there. It seems Daddy is trying to say the youth are quite corrupt and starving, but the elders are actually those that have kids, wives, and things. So if someone is going to be hungry for money, I think they are more corrupt and going to take the money to spend because they have school fees to pay. I don't have school fees to pay. So I'm not going to steal any money. But they have school fees to pay. They have to pay for electricity bills, their rent and things. So if you say we are rather hungry for money while you are the one having kids and even have to give chop money to your wife, I don't agree with you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Benny Rahinatu. I'm a level 200 student in UG. So I just want to emphasize on what Ms. Sharifa said about we, the youth, not having opportunities. I think I come from Upper West region, and I'm a Sisala by tribe. And from the region itself, you know that we don't just have the, let me say, the opportunity to even come out. If you are even out there, there are no people, there are no programs that you go to. If no UG, me like this, I think some of these programs are my first, contact with people of this caliber. So I think they should extend it to my region, yes, so that we also benefit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. To speak on the money issue, I think it's because when you look at the youth organizations, you give the boys money to go and do this. So because they think when you give us money to do this, we'll be able to do this, and so we are gullible enough, we can easily be manipulated. So you don't think of adding them. But then there are other youths that are capable of contributing. We're only looking at you giving us motivation, and then you're not looking at how we can also contribute critically to what we're saying. Because it's not everybody are giving the money to, right? We are not part of the youth organizers, the boys that are being sent to do this and that and that. There are some of us that can make meaningful impacts to the conversation that is on the table. We're saying give us those opportunities. Because if you think that, oh, you can throw money and then we'll just do this, you wouldn't be including us in the tables. And so let's just not look at the money part. Instead of the money, instead of looking at the money part. Come on, yeah. Because you think you're feeding into it, you're fueling that. You're fueling that when you should be thinking of how we can contribute critically. If you take one of the boys and then you sit them down and actually ask them that, oh, this money I'm giving you, what would it solve? Because you're giving him money to sing or get people to come and vote when they can do much more than that. So let's look further and beyond the whole money issue. Else, you keep putting money. You keep putting money into the system and think that that is all we want. And so if we are not motivated, we will not be able to contribute to national development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am Abina Isa Bakofi, and I have sat here, listened to every conversation. I'll say kudos to our panelists. They have really done well, as well as the debaters. With the conversation on board, I believe that we cannot take the money issue out. However, when it comes to some of the challenges that we, the young people, face, one of the first things I will mention is money. Because at the end of the day, we live in a country where access to these opportunities are very limited. And unfortunately, even when you have the idea to start something, to contribute your quota to national development, there is always financial restraint. I'll give you an example. Somewhere last year, my friends and I decided to embark on an initiative in my constituency. And I realized that there were young people who had not had the exposure to a lot of mentorship. And so it affected the way we thought about even adolescents and even as young women in the community. So with my friends, we decided that we're going to come up with an initiative to help give mentorship to these young people. And as someone who could not have the financial resource to support with this initiative, looking at the skill that we're going to work on, I decided to reach out to the leaders in my community to ensure that we have meaningful conversations to see how best we can help ourselves. Only for me to reach out, if I should mention names, maybe everybody would have known the person I'm talking about, so I'm going to put that aside. I reached out to this person as a source of motivation that Mama or Papa, this is what I have on board, and they would need your support, not necessarily financially, but we will need you to encourage us, you to advise us on what to do. And the person, I don't want to use the word ignorantly, but the person said per communication that, Moya na mojin sedeng. And I saw from that conversation that they see we coming to them for support as a form of replacement. And we are not here to replace anybody in the position as a leader to help. What we are doing is that we have something that we believe that in our small way we could contribute to development. And so when they come on board to help, so it is really a plea to everyone or whoever is in the capacity to help us in this regard, that when we come to you, sometimes you might not have even the financial support because we believe that you also equally have responsibilities to handle. And so it is important that from your small way, the advice that you can give us on what to do from there, it is better for us than discouraging us with some of the things that you say. It kind of affects the way we approach things moving forward. And it is better that we don't come to you to discourage us more than coming to you for you to discourage us. Then we'll do things according to the way we want it to be done. That is where the problem comes, and the friction of it shouldn't have been done this way, it should have been done that way comes in. So it is really a problem because we do not have that strength in that capacity to handle. But for the idea, for what we can bring on board, we have it. So I believe that it is a collaborative effort that when we both come together, it will help us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Akudugu Smaila Feza from UEW. I want to say kudos to our speakers and to say something in addition to the first question that you asked them. The need for the youth to be part of decision making and peace building. I think I'm in consonance with their presentation on that. But one thing I want to add is that there is a saying that people pay attention to what they pay. So when the youth are involved in peace building and decision making, they become stakeholders in creating those decisions and that peace building. So they will not be happy to go against or break those laws. And they will be in the position to talk to their colleagues to make sure that they build peace or they don't engage in violence and chaos. And also finally on the issue of youth not being given opportunities. I'm quite sure that when you build yourself to the extent that you are making an impact in society, you will be given the opportunity. Even if you are not given the opportunity, they will see that you have a purpose and you are making an impact. So when you present yourself, they will actually give you the opportunity. Even if not within your jurisdiction, people from afar using social media, they will realize you and they will help you to develop. Start where you are and start with the little that you have. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. So I'm Joshua T.G. Smith, and I'm from Liberia. And this is my first time in Ghana. So, and also I'm the head for Liberia of the International Youth Network for United Nations Security Council. So it's my pleasure to be here. And I've followed the discourse on the topic at hand. Now, it's important to emphasize that the issue of youth in Africa is a very sensitive one. So, to the point, I listened to the speakers on the issue, and I think something that is very cardinal to youth inclusion in Africa is the fact that the youth themselves, we must see ourselves not just as recipients of knowledge, but also as bearers of knowledge. So now once we transition to this stage, then we realize that we can also effect change rather than just waiting for change to happen to benefit us. Now, to the issue of solving youth lack of fundings and youth lack of finance, right? I listened to the story about my beautiful sister that she just explained. I do not know the full details of that story. But another thing I think youths can focus on is to move our horizon beyond just political participation. We can empower ourselves through entrepreneurship as well. For in my country, Liberia, there are young entrepreneurs who have started their own agencies, their own organizations, and they are making money for themselves. This is where you see ideas driving change and even improving the lives of yourself. Now, how can the government participate in this when these youths who have entrepreneurial ideas trying to create the spaces for themselves? Now, we do not have to knock on the doors of politicians, right? We can construct these doors ourselves. All we need the government to do, and this can be done through dialogue, is to ensure that the government establishes frameworks to ensure that SMEs can be supported through proper programs and channels to ensure that young people who do not have the fundings but have ideas can transcend their ideas into finances to cater for themselves and their families as well, rather than to keep on knocking on the doors of politicians who will just shut them away.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone.